Hello all, welcome to Tech Capture. So in this video we are going to discuss about a very important service in Google Cloud, that is Google Cloud BigQuery. So if you are looking for the data engineer certifications, or if you are looking for the job change in the Google Cloud data engineer domain, then this is a very important service for you, and you should be knowing what is a Google Cloud BigQuery, the basics, how we can use BigQuery, and all the things about Google Cloud BigQuery, because this is the service you cannot ignore if you want to work in a Google Cloud data engineering domain. Okay, so in this video we'll see all the things about a Google Cloud BigQuery. We'll start with the basic. So we'll first see a BigQuery introduction, what is a Google Cloud BigQuery. Then we'll see what are the different features of BigQuery, and we'll see a BigQuery architecture, what is a columnar storage in BigQuery. Then we'll see common terminologies in BigQuery, that is BigQuery datasets, tables and views. Then we'll see what is a public dataset in BigQuery, what is a partitioning in BigQuery, what is a clustering BigQuery, why we need a partitioning and clustering. We'll see with the hands-on demo. Then we'll create a partition table, we'll create cluster tables, and we'll also see what is a BQCLI, how we can use a BQCLI, and what is access control in BigQuery, how we can control the access for the data stored in BigQuery. And then we'll see some details about the pricing, how the pricing works in the BigQuery. So all these things we are going to cover in this video, so just stay tuned till the end and we will see a lot of things about a BigQuery. So if you are a beginner, then this video will be very helpful. Just stay tuned till the end. So I already have a complete playlist on a Google Cloud where I have more than 300 of video. So if you want to learn about any other service in Google Cloud, you can just refer to my playlist. And there are a lot of hands-on, lot of data engineering project, lot of DevOps projects, lot of AIML projects are there on my channel. So you just go through my playlist and just enjoy the learning on my Tech Capture playlist. Okay, so now we'll just get started and we'll try to see first the introduction about BigQuery. What is BigQuery? Okay, so here I just added the documentation link here, it would be helpful. So before that we'll see what is a BigQuery. So BigQuery is serverless fully managed data warehouse for analytics and business intelligence. So I purposefully marked the few words as a dark bold because these are the important words which will help you to interview, which will help you in the certification. So this BigQuery is serverless, so you don't need to create any kind of instance, you don't need to create any kind of servers to use a BigQuery. So this is a completely serverless, you have to just dump your data. There is no limit that how much data you can dump into BigQuery. So it is managed, it is created like for the petabyte scale of a data, so you can dump any amount of data and you can use a BigQuery for the data analytics. But to have the better performance, there are some design constraints you should follow. So even with the large amount of data, you will have a better performance with BigQuery. So we'll see all these design constraints, how we should design our data warehouse, what things we should follow, how we can improve the performance. All these things we are going to see in this video. Okay, so first thing, what is BigQuery? So this is serverless fully managed data warehouse for analytics and business intelligence. Okay, so there are some features that it processes a petabyte of data with ease without any major performance issues. It supports SQL query, can integrate easily with the other Google Cloud services. Let's say suppose you have to load data in BigQuery, you can use multiple data processing services, like you can use a data flow, you can use cloud composer, that is airflow, you can use cloud function, you can use cloud run, you can use data fusion, you can use data proc. So any of these services you can use easily and integrate for your ETL and ELT operation on a BigQuery. So we will have multiple projects as well, how we can create the ETL data pipeline, how we can create ELT data pipeline using BigQuery. So we will see the data engineering projects as well in our playlist. So we are just starting with the basics. What is a Google Cloud? A BigQuery. Okay, so it is scalable and real-time data analytics capability. So we can have the BI dashboards, BI application just like Looker Studio, Tableau, or any other BI application on top of BigQuery, and we can use a BigQuery for the real-time data analytics. Okay, so this is the pay-as-you-go pricing. It means just like other, let's say take example of the Cloud SQL. So if you are creating the Cloud SQL instance, then you will pay for that instance. It doesn't matter how much data you are storing. If you allocated the 10 GB of storage or 100 GB of storage, you will pay for the 100 GB. It doesn't matter if you use 10 GB or 20 GB. Similarly, It is the different case in a BigQuery, not a similarly. It is the reverse case in BigQuery. So you will only pay for the amount of data you are storing in BigQuery. So for the storage, let's say suppose you are storing 10 GB of data, you will pay only for the 10 GB. And there is also a free tier in BigQuery. So we'll see in the pricing section how much data you can store per month for a free, how much query you can, like there are 1 TB of query you can perform for a free. So there are two different pricing in BigQuery. One is storage pricing, another is the querying pricing. So storage pricing is how much data you will store in BigQuery, and the query pricing is how much data you are querying for analysis. So you have to keep remember that the pricing is based on the storage and how much data you are querying. Okay, these are some basic features of BigQuery and use cases when we should use a BigQuery. So when we need to create the business intelligence applications and reporting on top of the data warehouse, when you need a data lake for analysis, when you have some marketing analysis and need to share the reports and dashboard for the customer insight, then you can get all your data into a BigQuery and then create the reports on the your data warehouse on top of your BigQuery. So you can do a lot of operations there. You can create multiple tables, multiple views, multiple transformation, and on top of that you can create your BigQuery tables. On top of that you can create your Looker Studio reports and dashboard. Okay, we'll see all the projects. So this is the introduction. Let's see what more things we are having. So some famous products like Spotify, Twitter, Snapchat, and Canva, these services uses a BigQuery. So you can understand BigQuery is a very large scale data warehouse. You can store a large amount of data very easily in the BigQuery. Okay, now we'll see about the BigQuery architecture, how BigQuery store the data and how it performs the querying on the petabyte of data, because usually if your data is too huge, it should have a lot of time to query your data, but it is not that much slow in BigQuery. It have the better performance if you have a better BigQuery design. So this is the kind of architecture of BigQuery. So it have the separate storage and separate compute cluster. So your data is stored separately, but when you query the data, your query will go to the compute, and based on your compute it will just send request to your storage cluster. Okay, this is the query and we need this result, and then the data will be fetched from your storage and the response is sent to the compute cluster. So in between there is a petabyte of network. So it is like claim that because of this architecture it is having the faster performance, because the storage and compute are separated, not at the same place. Okay, so these are the different clusters. So the storage and compute stored separately. So this is like kind of basic architecture of BigQuery. So no one will going to ask the architecture of the BigQuery, just to have the basic understanding. The BigQuery will have the storage and the compute. Compute is used for querying your data and storage is used for storing your data. Okay, so just a simple understanding. And data can be ingested as a batch loading as well as the streaming ingestion in real time. So there are two options to load your data. So this is about the BigQuery architecture. And what is the columnar storage? So BigQuery is a columnar storage. So how we can understand the columnar storage and how it is different from the row oriented storage? So let's say I have a one record for which the product value is dryer, quantity is 30, and warehouse is warehouse 2. So in this case what will happen, this complete record will be stored in the single block of the memory or stored in the same place, because the data is stored as a record by record. So first record stored in one place, then second record will stored in another place, then the third record, then the fourth record. So the value will go by row. So it is the row oriented storage, that is the traditional storage. But in the column oriented storage, the data is stored as a column by column. So let's say suppose the first record, so the dryer value will be stored in the product column. So this complete column is stored in separately, another column stored separately, and the warehouse, which is the third column, is stored separately. So data is stored column by column in BigQuery. So whenever we want to query the data, it will go and scan column by column. So how we can consider or how we can prove that okay, this is the columnar database? So what I will do, I will just go to the my Google Cloud Console and I will just try to show you a BigQuery and some example of BigQuery and how we can consider the BigQuery as a columnar database. So let me go to the Google Cloud Console now and we'll just try to play around the BigQuery. So I am in my Google Cloud project. So from here I will simply go to a BigQuery. So here we don't need to create any kind of server as I mentioned. So we can simply start creating the dataset and table, or if you want to create a, like we have to do the analysis or just practice, we can use the public dataset as well. So this is our project. So let's say I have to create dataset. So in BigQuery, dataset is nothing but the collection of table. You can just create the dataset and then only you can create the table. So let's say I will create the dataset as a demo. So I will just select the US as a multi-region and I will simply create a dataset. It is very simple, no need to complicate it. Okay, now I have to create a table. How I can create a table? So simply I can go here and create table. So for now what I will do, I will just create table from the CSV file I am having. So there are multiple options to create a table. So you can create table from the storage bucket file, or you can upload the file, or drive, big table, Amazon S3, a lot of things are there. I will just go with the storage and I will select the I will go with the local upload. So I will just upload the file I am having. So I am having one CSV file here. Let's say I will just go here and I am having a file here. So I will just use this simple file. Okay, so it will just create table for me. Okay, and here I will give the table name. I will just give the employee because I am having employee table, and the auto detect schema. This is used just to have the same column name as we have in the CSV file. So it will auto detect the column names from the CSV file. I'll just click auto detect and then I will create table. Okay, then let's see if my table will get created. You can see the load job is created and my table is created. So it is very simple in BigQuery to create a table. Now I can simply query the data. You can preview the data as well here. Okay, so it will show first few column of the data. Total I am having 1000 records. Okay, and in details I can see this is my table ID, when the table got created, when the table got last modified, and then the number of rows, how much size this table is having, all these basic details it will be having. Now to query, I can simply click on query and I can do select star. Okay, so when I do select star, what will happen? Let me show you. Let me hide this. So it is scanning the total 16.16 KB of data. So I'll be charged on this 16.16 KB of data. But let's say I am just okay. One more thing. So we are having total 1000 column, right? So let's say I am doing limit is equal to 1. Now I am only my result will contain only one record. Okay. Still it will scan 17.16. Now let's say I will get only all 1000 record. Still it will scan all because it column by column. I am selecting all column. If let's say I do select employee ID, okay, and let's see the result now. So now it is scanning only 7 KB. It doesn't matter if I scan all 1000 or I can only have one record. What matters how many column you are scanning. Now let's see if I add one more column, then my size, the scan size will process size will again increase. Let's say I will have one more column, maybe first name. Okay, and let's see now. So now it doubled. Okay, so more the columns I will add, more the data it will process because it is the columnar storage. So it doesn't matter how many records you are scanning, if you scan the one record or if you can the 1000 record. Now if I want to show the big example, let's say let's check some public data set. Okay, so there are some public data set provided by Google. How we can use this public data set? So simply go here, add data. Okay, and here you can scroll and you can see here a public data set at the bottom. So just click on the public data set. So there are a lot of public data set. Okay, so let's say I will select Google Trend data set. So this is the Google search engine data. I will just click on the view data set. So what will happen? I can see all the data. So this is having millions of record. So you can see all the data set you will see here in the left side now. Okay, so this is the public data, and you will see a lot of data sets here. See, these are the publicly available data set, and currently I am into a Google Trend data set. So let me see what all tables available in Google Trend data set. Where is a Google Trend? Yeah. So in Google Trend, we are having these many data sets. Okay, top terms. Let me check this table top terms. So this is partition table. So how many records it is having? So it is having 45 million record. Okay. So let's say I want to query the data. I'll just remove the clause, okay, where clause, just to show you how the pricing and how the columnar storage work in BigQuery. Now let's say if I am executing this query, how much it will cost me. So it will cost me for 3 GB of data. Okay, so it will cost me of 3 GB of data. But how I can reduce the cost, or how I should write a query? Now it doesn't matter, even I do limit 10, I want to get first 10 record, still it will cost me for 3 GB. Okay, how I can reduce the pricing in that case? So I can go by column, I can check the column here either in preview or in schema, and I can just get only required columns. Okay, DMA name, DMA ID, score and rank. Okay, so I can simply get a DMA name. Okay, and let's see, now it is out of 3 GB. Now it is only will be charged me for the 876 MB. So this is how the columnar storage works in BigQuery. So it doesn't matter how much records you are fetching, it matters how much columns you are fetching. Okay, based on that your performance and pricing will be differed, because it is the columnar database, it is a columnar data warehouse. So hope you understood now what is columnar database. That is, the BigQuery is a columnar database. So now there are few concepts in BigQuery which are very important, that is partitioning and clustering. So I think this video is already longer, so we will see partitioning and clustering in our next video. So thank you for watching this small video on BigQuery introduction.